Halloween was pretty much the film that invented the slasher genre. Of course, a lot of people would say that Psycho and Peeping Tom did it before Halloween, but Halloween was the first film that created the rules that are pointed out in Scream. In 1978, small director John Carpenter directed his independent film with a shoestring budget and with only one thing people would find appealing: the fact that old actor Donald Pleasence had a big part in the film. But the unexpected happened, and by the end of its theatrical run, it grossed $70 million worldwide, making it one of the most successful indie films ever made. And there is a reason for that. Halloween is the ultimate slasher film. The killer Michael Myers has an intense, creepy presence whenever he's on screen. Jamie Lee Curtis does a great job as a frightened babysitter who's getting stalked by Myers. The film starts off with a great POV shot of Michael Myers as a kid as he goes into his sister's room and stabs her. The film then jumps 15 years later and we see Michael escape from the psychiatric hospital that he has been staying in. We are then introduced by Laurie Strode, played by Jamie Lee Curtis. We see her and her friends walk to and from school. Her friends are kind of interesting, well, the one that says totally in every line is anyway. But Laurie keeps seeing Michael around the town wearing his definitive boiler suit and William Shatner mask. Meanwhile, Dr. Loomis, who is played by Donald Pleasence, finds that a headstone has been stolen from the local cemetery. The headstone belongs to none other than Judith Myers, aka Michael's sister. Later that night, Laurie is babysitting a young boy called Tommy. Luckily her friends are all in the houses nearby, but they are getting killed off. But she doesn't notice until she talks to her friend on the phone and she gets cut off. She goes to the house and finds all the bodies of her friends. Then Michael attacks her and she falls down the staircase. She then runs back to the house and tells the two children to hide. She gets attacked again in the living room but stabs Michael in the neck with a knitting needle and runs upstairs. She hides in the closet, but Michael soon catches up to her in probably the scariest and most intense scene in the entire film. Laurie stabs Michael in the eye with a clothes hanger and manages to stab him with his own knife. Then he collapses and is supposedly dead. Laurie then tells the children to run and get help. Loomis sees them running and comes inside knowing that Michael is in there. Michael gets up to strangle Laurie, but Loomis shoots Michael when he falls over the balcony. Then as Loomis goes to see Michael's body, it has disappeared. Then over shots of the house we hear Michael's breathing. This is another super creepy atmospheric moment. A main component to why this movie is so good is the soundtrack. John Carpenter's score throughout it is just amazing. It adds an extra bit of atmosphere to the film. It is also a very 70s style horror film score, which makes the film like a little time capsule. All the teenagers give great believable performances, and Michael Myers' slow walking and silence just makes Halloween one of the scariest movies ever made. This film is an example to why modern horror films are terrible. This film has hardly any gore and not many jump scares, and it is one of the scariest films ever due to the creepy, intense moments and the suspense throughout every Michael Myers scene. One thing I like is how The Thing from Another World is always shown on the TV. The best part of this is that John Carpenter actually went on to make the superb remake of it. Halloween is a great film that I watch every October 31st and probably will do for years to come. I give this film an A++.